Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are unpacking a completely wild situation unfolding right now in the healthcare sector with Kalinga Hospital over in Bhubaneswar. Because on one hand, this institution is currently celebrating a massive, absolutely state-of-the-art expansion. But under the hood, well, it's facing some truly severe financial distress. So how exactly can a hospital be expanding this grandly while its balance sheets are flashing bright red? Let's untangle this paradox. We've got to start with this incredibly stark admission right from the hospital's chairman, Dr. S.K. Dash. He just openly states Kalinga Hospital has encountered many ups and downs and was in a critical state when new management took over. Now, that instantly signals to us that we aren't just looking at some routine corporate business update. No, this is a highly complex, high-stakes turnaround. When the chairman flat out admits the institution was in a critical state, it really sets the stage for the massive adversities this new leadership inherited. They didn't walk into a well-oiled machine, They walked into a full-blown institutional crisis that required immediate emergency intervention. And to really grasp this turnaround, we have to understand the guy actually leading it. Dr. S.K. Dash is literally living in two totally different realities right now. Over in the US, specifically in Minnesota, he's celebrated as this massive pioneer of the global probiotics industry, a super successful scientist and philanthropist. But back in India, his day-to-day reality demands a completely different kind of hustle. He is dedicating vast personal resources to salvaging Kalinga Hospital, a 30-year-old medical institution, basically trying to drag it back from the absolute brink of collapse. Now, you have to think about the physical and mental toll a rescue mission like that actually demands, because it is staggering. 20. That is how many hours Dr. Dash is working every single day to orchestrate this institutional rescue. And get this, he is 81 years old. Just pause and think about the personal strain of that for a second. At an age when most people are, understandably, enjoying a well-earned retirement, he has plunged himself right into this grueling daily operational grind. He is essentially bearing the weight of an entire hospital's survival squarely on his own shoulders. And because he splits his time, he's constantly battling this brutal 11-hour time zone gap between his home in Edina, Minnesota, and the hospital in Bhubaneswar. So he's working late into the American night just to align with the Indian workday. It is an absolute logistical marathon. It requires a level of personal dedication that goes so far beyond your standard corporate management. This isn't just a guy writing checks, right? It's about sacrificing sleep, health, and his own time to forcefully pull an institution out of failure. Section 1. Inside the financial red. The stark reality behind Kalinga Hospital's balance sheets. Okay, so the big question here is all of this grueling personal effort actually paying off on paper? Because dedication is undeniable, for sure. But unfortunately, dedication doesn't automatically pay the bills or satisfy creditors. So to answer this, we're going to turn to data from the corporate intelligence platform Toffler. This gives us a totally unfiltered, objective look at the hospital's recent financial health. And guys, the data reveals a truly jarring reality. A negative 122.83% drop in the hospital's EBITDA over the previous year. Now, if you track corporate health, you know EBITDA is a huge indicator of core operational profitability. It strips away all the accounting fluff to show if a business actually makes money from its primary day-to-day operations. So a drop of over 122%, that is not a simple dip. It is a severe operational hemorrhage. It literally means their core business of treating patients was losing money at a totally unsustainable rate. And that's well before you even account for things like debt interest or taxes. It really confirms the absolute terrifying depths of the critical state Dr. Dash walked into. But the financial puzzle actually gets even more complicated here, because the hospital is still maintaining a relatively high operating revenue, sitting somewhere between 100 to 500 crore rupees. So cash is definitely flowing through the doors. Yet, despite that high revenue, the hospital's book net worth has still declined by 5.7%. This deep dive really highlights a fundamental law of business physics. Massive top-line revenue means absolutely nothing if operational inefficiencies, high legacy costs, and heavy debt obligations are just aggressively eating away at your bottom line. The money is coming in, sure, but it is draining out faster, which effectively shrinks the fundamental structural value of the institution day by day. So all of this financial volatility ultimately culminates in Toffler flagging Kalinga Hospital with a highly concerning, severe risk rating. In the world of corporate intelligence, that is literally the brightest red flag you can possibly get. It's a very stark warning that the institution's financial foundation is highly fragile and that it's facing major concerns regarding its day-to-day sustainability and overall governance.
And when we break down their active charges, which is essentially the assets they've pledged as collateral against their loans, we can see exactly where a massive amount of this immense pressure is coming from. We're looking at significant borrowing from multiple major banks. You've got Canara Bank with 7.4 crore rupees, ICICI Bank at around 6 crore, and Yes Bank sitting at 4.9 crore. This heavy reliance on institutional debt really anchors this whole narrative of a hospital fighting to breathe under severe financial weight. They desperately need revenue right now just to service their past obligations.
Section 2. Expansion amidst severe risk. The Dr. S.K. Block inauguration. All right, so here's the ultimate paradox we've been tracking today. Directly juxtaposed against those plummeting financial metrics and that severe risk rating is a massive, highly celebrated hospital expansion. It was actually just recently inaugurated by the governor of Odisha himself. So, how on earth does a company with a negative 122% drop in EBITDA afford to build a brand new hospital block? Well, the answer lies in pure, unfiltered, personal philanthropy. Dr. Dash solely funded this new block entirely out of his own pocket. He stepped in exactly where the corporate finances simply couldn't. And the immediate impact of his personal investment is huge. We're talking an additional 50 advanced beds, which includes 30 absolutely crucial ICUs. But they aren't stopping there. The hospital has set this incredibly aggressive, ambitious target of reaching a 400-bed total capacity by the end of 2024. This is a massive, massive scaling up of infrastructure, completely bypassing traditional corporate funding, driven entirely by one man's personal resources and just sheer willpower. And the quality of this expansion is genuinely top-tier stuff. We are looking at advanced, specialized operating theaters for orthopedics, neurology, renal, and gastrosciences. They built a brand new central sterile services department and an expanded kidney transplant unit with a super strict focus on infection control. There is even a dedicated precision medicine center that's leveraging genetic data. I mean, these upgrades represent state-of-the-art medical infrastructure. And it just creates this powerful, somewhat jarring contrast, right? The medicine and the facilities are advancing rapidly, even as the corporate balance sheet desperately struggles to catch up. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final, really provocative question. Can relentless dedication, a 20-hour workday at age 81, and massive personal philanthropy truly outpace severe financial risk and heavy institutional debt? Because what we are watching here is a high-stakes race between one man's extraordinary will to heal his community and the cold, hard realities of corporate finance. I guess only time and maybe the next few quarterly reports will give us the answer. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and we will see you next time.